Hey everyone, how's it going? In this video, we're going to talk about the difference between speed and velocity. So, if we think back to the previous video where I discussed distance and displacement, I did the example where I started right over here at 0, and I traveled 5 meters to the right, 10 meters to the left, and then 7 meters to the right again. And we concluded that my distance was 22 meters, while my displacement was just 2 meters. So let's say it took me 2 seconds to travel all this distance, and I know that's really fast, but let's say I was running really quickly. So how fast was I going? Well, if I do distance divided by time here, I get 22 meters divided by 2 seconds, which gives me 11 meters per second. And if I do my displacement divided by time, I get 2 meters divided by 2 seconds, and I get 1 meter per second. Okay, well, which one of these is correct? Well, just like both distance and displacement can be correct depending on what you're asked, both speed and velocity can be correct depending on what you ask. So we can say that distance divided by time gives us our average speed. So that bar on top denotes average. And we can say that displacement divided by time gives us our average velocity. So what does it mean to be an average speed or an average velocity? Well, let's think back to this problem. If I ran this segment and this segment in 1.9 seconds, then I ran this piece at 0.1 seconds. Well, sure, my speed might have been really different. I might have been going really slow here, but really, really fast right over here. But my average speed was just the total distance that I traveled divided by the total time that it took me. So that's why it's important to know that it's average speed and average velocity. We're not looking at the instantaneous speed or instantaneous velocity. Okay, so now we know that distance is a scalar and displacement is a vector. We can say the same thing for speed and velocity. So speed is a scalar and velocity is a vector. So that means every time we write down our velocity, we have to have a direction associated with it. So the correct way to write down my velocity here would be 1 meter per second to the right, because that way I have my magnitude and I have my direction. And an easy way that I found to memorize this is that speed and scalar both start with S, and velocity and vector both start with V. So that's one way you can memorize which one's a speed and which one is a vector. Okay, now let's try some examples. So if we go back to that circle problem I did in the last video, let's say I still have my circle with a radius of 2 meters, and I start over here, and then I go around the circle in 2 seconds. So for my speed, I would say it's my distance divided by time, and I should actually say this is my average speed. So my distance that I traveled is just the circumference of the circle, which is 2 pi r. In this case, r is 2, so I would say it's 4 pi divided by my time, which is 2 seconds. So 4 pi meters over 2 seconds gives me 2 pi meters per second. For average velocity, I can say that this is my displacement divided by time. And my displacement, we said, is 0 meters because I end up in the same place as I started. So 0 meters divided by 2 seconds gives me 0 meters per second. Another example, let's say I traveled the same 300 meters north as I did in the last video, and then I traveled 400 meters east. So 400 meters here. And let's say this took me 5 seconds. So my distance again, or not my distance, my speed is going to equal my distance divided by time. Now my distance that I traveled is 300 plus 400 is 700 meters in 5 seconds, which gives me 140 meters per second. My velocity, on the other hand, my velocity is my displacement divided by my time. So my displacement, remember, is the straight line path from where I started to where I ended. So in this case, this is my displacement vector. And we said that this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle. So this is 500 meters. So it's going to be my displacement over time, which is 500 meters in 5 seconds, which is 100 meters per second northeast. It's not exactly northeast, but it's estimated for the sake of this problem. So I hope this video helped explain the difference between speed and velocity. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, happy studying. If you found this video helpful, please take a second to hit the like button or comment down below. If anything in this video was unclear, or if you had a question about any other topic, please don't hesitate to comment it or send it to me in a message, and I'll do my best to answer it for you. Thanks for your support, and happy studying.